Ladies and gentlemen, it seems like there's a possibility of a stock market crash coming. So let's just watch on and see what is causing it and how far it can go. Let's watch on. So, in an interesting turn of event, right now, the trade war that is waged by Donald Trump versus EU has now escalated quite a lot and looks like a form of market crash is imminent. So this, unlike other trade wars, this trade war is about land grab. So US is now using its economic might to try to coerce Denmark to let US have Greenland. And this is really economic bullying. And now tariffs are used as a weapon to annex Greenland, and that's really, really despicable in my opinion. So EU, many countries, including UK, is now coming together in unity to fight off US. And right now, NATO is fighting NATO and is really turning ugly in a very terrible way. So Donald Trump has deliberately escalated the trade war and he has threatened 10% tariff immediately and warned that you will escalate to 25% tariff by mid of this year. And right now he's targeting 8 countries. So this trade war is really all about Greenland, Greenland, Greenland. He wants Greenland. And all sorts of damn excuse he give, but he just wants Greenland. This is not much very different from, in some sense, Russia wants Ukraine. So the tariffs are no longer used as economic tool. They are used as geopolitical tool to pressure Denmark to give up Greenland. Why is Greenland the flashpoint? We talked about it, the video before this. We know that US is highly interested in Greenland for strategic reasons because it has military advantage in some form against Russia and China. But I think the bigger reason is really about the rare earth minerals. Right now, Trump knows that, wow, without rare earth minerals, US will be beholden to China. And he really wants this strategic advantage. He's going to be always at the negotiation weakness against China. Now, the Europeans are really looking at this as, hey, you are really violating our sovereign rights, okay? And now NATO integrity is gonna is gonna collapse. So this one is really, really despicable, right? In many ways. So Europe now has escalated their response. Emmanuel Macron, which is the French president, has urged EU to deploy anti-coercion instrument. Okay, and later I'll tell you what is this bazooka they are preparing to fire, and basically say that US, this is economic bullying, and we must respond with strength, not appeasement. You cannot give in. So Denmark, Germany, Netherlands, the Nordic countries, UK have now joined in and come out with a joint warning and basically use terms like such as blackmail, dangerous spiral downwards, and things like that, and basically say that this is really not right. Okay, so in the past, trade war is all about dollars and cents. Now the trade war is about land grab, and the Europeans are not going to give in. So let's talk about the anti-coercion instrument that EU is preparing. This is actually what they call a trade bazooka. So a bazooka is a big rocket launcher, and this is a economic warfare framework that is put up by EU, actually meant for China, just in case China come and fight them. So if any countries were to force EU to activate the trade bazooka, so there will be a collective counter tariff response that will immediately put up trade barriers of a massive form. So if this were to take place against US, the EU will block all American companies from entering EU for public contracts, and they will restrict EU. They will restrict the US from entering EU market, and a lot of export controls will be implemented, and there will be IP. There'll be revoking and suspension of IP protection of many form. So it's really a trade bazooka, and I think this, of course, will cause Trump to be concerned, but I think Trump will not give in so easily. Wall Street Journal said that these will hurt US too. This is not an American first economy and economics. This is about US now will have to absorb the shock kind of economics. So this will hit US too as there's the tax on US will be impacted. This is quite funny. Right now, you may not know, but Nobel Peace Prize is actually given by Norway, and Trump has actually met with the Norwegian Prime Minister and basically said that because you never give me the Nobel Peace Prize, Limpe is not obliged to think of purely peace anymore. Okay, and basically just say that you don't give me this, I don't think of peace. I just think of myself and U.S. interests. It's actually quite siasui, right? It's like this is very embarrassing, right? To think of this way. This just outright shameless, shameless. So it's quite funny. The awardee of Nobel Peace Prize last year, which is the Venezuela opposition member, okay, she's a lady, give the Peace Prize to Trump, okay, and thank him for removing Maduro, which is the Venezuela dictator. And Trump shamelessly received the Nobel Peace Prize, which I thought was quite quite unusual, right? You can't take this kind of thing, right? But he took it, right? It's quite surprising, right? It's quite surprising, and I just find it really a shock that a head of state would be willing to do that, right? So he took it. So in the first show of a market fracture, the crypto market have a massive crash. $870 million of leverage position were liquidated. Okay, and many of the cryptocurrency which formed as ahead of the stock market has now declined significantly. Now we don't know whether the stock market will crash by the same way, but it's fair to say that the stock market will probably directionally move the same way. So the crypto market broke first because first of all the US market is closed today, it's a holiday, and but the crypto market is actively traded 24 by 7 throughout every day, and they are in a leverage position for most of the traders. So massive hitting happens in a way. So that's why I always tell people don't touch crypto. But for this matter right now, stock market, I don't think we'll be spared from it. We just don't know the degree right now. So the US futures is on for many hours, but it has now slipped, okay? Just not very significantly, but has now slipped with some thin trading, and there is rise in volatility as the VIX gone up quite a lot. Gold, silver went up a lot. Okay, and it was quite funny. Yesterday, I was doing a live stream on gold, and after I traded and the prices were concluded, wow, the prices of gold just went up further. My customers all writing, we say thank you, but I got nothing to do with that. You got to thank Trump then. So right now, Asia has reacted as well. The equities has also gone down. Okay, not a lot, but actually they just turned cautious, and they are wondering whether things will turn suddenly very bad as well. All waiting for U.S. market to open and see what's the degree of impact. So I'll just say this that in the trade war of 2018, okay, US versus China, the trade war it was quite significantly affected. And right now, the degree of the trade war, we don't know how far it will go. At this juncture, I cannot conclusively say that it's going to be a crash. We do know that the stock market do not like trade war, and we have seen it in 2025. I would just say this, it depends on the degree of the trade war and degree how US can be hit. If it's versus China, for sure it's calamity. But if it's versus Europe, it's hard to say, right? Hard to say. And I think that there will be some impact of some form. I just don't know the degree of it right now. Now, if in some way China will be dragged into this, wow, then things will get exciting. I've been waiting for a crash for some time. If this crash do come, wow, I'll be very excited. I won't say I'm happy. I just say I'm excited, and all the things I've taught everybody on crash buying can be put to good use. The truth of the matter is that the stock market crash is not because Donald Trump is shameless, okay? But the crash because confidence and certainty is weakening and vaporizing, and fear is returning. And I'll just say this is only the beginning. if situation were to worsen and worsen in a big way, I think the stock market crash could be quite significant. Okay. Let's watch on very closely and follow very closely. Please remember to hit subscribe to my Telegram channel and also hit subscribe to my YouTube channel. And if there's going to be a market crash, I'll go live and inform everybody of what I'm going to do. Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay. Let's stay in tune and see what could possibly happen tonight. Well, tonight there's no market, maybe tomorrow. Okay. Thank you and bye bye.